Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing great today. Wow, it's been such a long time. Okay, so it's not as if I'm ready for the actual lineup of videos that I want to share with us over the next few weeks. But I decided that since it's been such a long time since I shared anything with us, that I would just make a video about the situation in Nigeria right now. Okay, so wherever you are on the continent of Africa, probably even around the world, you must have heard about the guy called MOHBAD. Yeah, so MOHBAD was killed, and I mean, the story is out there. You all know the story. But what I see happening, unfolding in Nigeria right now as we speak, is the restless spirit of the Nigerian youth. You know, when this thing happened, up until this very moment, I have not made one single post about that guy's death. And that's the number one topic in Nigeria right now. That's the number one thing that is trending all over the country. I have not said one word about it because I have been searching my spirit to ask myself, God, at what point in our lives are we going to eventually heave a sigh of relief? So, Nigeria as a nation, I made a video about this a long time ago, was created out of the figment of someone's imagination. I had documents that said these things, and I showed these documents that when Lord Lugard was amalgamating Nigeria, his intention was not to better the lives of the people who came together to make up Nigeria. The intention was so that Nigeria will function in reverse. It's written down in a document. The intention was so that Nigeria will be so divided that from generation to generation, there will not be any meeting point for all the tribes that make it up, so that the puppet masters will continually control Nigeria. Incidentally, in the same Nigeria, you have a concentration of some of the brightest brains, not just on the continent of Africa, but in the whole world. And so the British hit a jackpot with the diabolical enslavement of Nigerian people. Okay, I don't know how to begin to compare Nigeria with many other countries in Africa. I don't want to go to other parts of the world. I don't know how many countries in the world where you go to and evil, I'm talking about straight up evil, is the real order of the day. It's a way of life. This is what we have done in Nigeria. Because the foundation of Nigeria is completely faulty. It's not just faulty, it is satanic, it is evil. Nigeria is a country where if you are good, you are looked down upon. If you are evil and wicked and diabolical and satanic, intensely satanic, you are praised and promoted and held in high esteem. And I mean publicly, openly. It's one of the few countries in the world where corruption is celebrated. And the corrupt individuals are celebrated. Where you can steal from someone in broad daylight and people will cheer you on. Where you can take a knife or a gun and shoot your brother innocent, and everybody will come to you and say, you are the man. In our politics, that one has become like an age-old tradition now, where people, before you can get into Nigerian politics, you have to first of all sell your soul to the devil. You have to first of all go into some diabolical situation, like, making some rituals, some of them even human sacrifices. And that's why we don't have decent people in politics today. That's why you don't have important, intelligent people in politics, because they can't dabble into all that nonsense. We have only evil, useless people in our politics today. And the younger generation are seeing these things every day. We see people in authority flouting orders. You come to Nigeria, you're driving through the streets, you see it is the police that even runs the red lights, and the rest of the people follow. Disorderliness everywhere. This is why you will have a situation like what MOHBAD has gotten himself into, where you have certain individuals, just because they have ties with people in government, they feel they are untouchables. They feel they can do anything and get away with it. Nigerians have been beaten so many times. Nigerians will come up and say, this is what we want. Respect us, we are people. They will deny them, take it away from them. Institutionally, they will do it. Individually, they will do it. And then what do you think you are saying to the rest of the population? You are telling them that evil is the only way you succeed. You even come to quarters where people talk in small circles. They tell you, oh boy, if you don't go this way, you are going to stay here and suffer for the rest of your life. This is the kind of country we live in. We're going to cry about MOHBAD. We're going to scream about MOHBAD. We're going to cry blue murder and everything. But at the end of the day, how is this going to change? We have people today who stole from others, and they are sitting down comfortably enjoying their loot. We have people today who have murdered, and they are the ones who have the positions of authority in the country. No justice at all. If we didn't get justice in the past from those other situations, is it now we are going to get justice over MOHBAD? What we need is justice for the entire population of Nigerians. We need institutional overhaul in Nigeria. How it will happen, I don't know. Whether MOHBAD will be the trigger that will lead to that institutional change that we've been crying for all along, I don't know. Nigerians have been so beaten, they've been so subdued and so messed up that sometimes all you see on the faces of people is hopelessness. Remember when they tried to bring about a change during EndSARS, they massacred them and used their blood for sacrifice to their Satan that they worship. Today, the same restless spirits of Nigerian youths are out again on the street. They're crying, they're screaming. Everywhere you turn, these restless spirits are crying out loud. Why is it that you guys are not listening to us? It is not about your leaders in Africa. It is not about the stooges and the puppets they impose on you. It is about the puppet masters in Europe who impose them on you. That's why change can only happen when the international influences are cut off completely. That's the prayer that I have prayed for years. And because I know that God still lives, I believe that one way or the other, somehow, someday, He will answer our prayers and free us from the conundrum of this satanic, generational, hegemonic, colonial enslavement of the indigenous peoples of Nigeria. You live in Nigeria today where our young people no longer believe in the dignity of labor. They don't believe that you have to work hard. They will rather go with Yahoo. They will go with drugs. They will go with any vice that is anti-human, that is anti-nature. Why? Because they have seen people who went with those vices, and rather than pay a price for what they have done, they are rather held in high esteem, promoted on a national level. They see them working with people in authority. Someone who should be in jail is rubbing shoulder, walking shoulder to shoulder with governors, with ministers, with people who are in high places. And you expect the boy down the street to see any reason why he should be clean or do something right. No, they won't. That is a subliminal influence you are impacting on the general population of Nigerians. God will help us in Nigeria. That's the prayer pretty much of almost every person that I know, because Nigerians have really tried. Let's face it. Don't talk down on Nigerians. I've seen some posts where people were saying, oh, I did this, I did that, you didn't do anything, you people don't want to protest, you people don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Nigerians have tried. The level of satanic assault, diabolic satanic assault Nigerians have gone through, the level of intimidation Nigerians have gone through, and the resistance they have put forward is enough to applaud them. Nigerian youths have tried. No set of people will go through the kind of constant, frequent assault from the leadership of their nations that Nigerian youths have gone through, and they will still be there able to speak and say anything against that same authority. Look at even what happened just recently, where a lot of people felt so dissatisfied. We went through a process, and at the end of the day, what we expected to get is not what we got. Everybody's now being told, you know what, just take it as it is. It's the art of God and move on. These are all some of the things that people will remember, and they feel like, look, I'm actually in a country where I am not valued, where my opinion doesn't count. I mean, I don't count. Being good doesn't count in my country. So I think I should just turn to vices. Maybe that's what works here. How can you then come around and say, oh, why should you be involving yourself in this? We are talking about MOHBAD today, but look at the situation, look at the country, look at the conditions that enabled the people who did this to him to be able to do that. And he's not the only victim of this set of people. He is just one out of so many that many of us can't even think of or remember. He just has a very restless spirit that has refused to rest until justice is done. And something is going to come out of this. And I pray that when it happens, that it will eventually lead to the revolution that will overhaul the institutional anomaly on which Nigeria was established. It's our heart cry. We pray for it to happen in our lifetime, and I believe it will.
Thank you for all the fight. Thank you. We're not going to let it end here. We are going to... Justice for Emmanuel. Justice for MOHBAD.